It's really dangerous to be alone into the woods. I started to freak out because outside it started to become darker. We saw a black shadow in the middle of the road. Hello friends! I know last time I left you in a cliffhanger, but this story is longer to tell, so I wanted to take my time and to explain what happened with my phone in this video. But first I want to give you a little bit of explanation why I think I lost my phone. I built some frustrations about my phone, and the universe was giving me what I kind of wanted. So let's start with the beginning. When I started to record all the footage that I shared with you guys, more exactly back in December last year, I started to record all the footage with my phone, more exactly an iPhone 7 Plus, but with only 32 gigabytes storage. As you can imagine, it's not enough for recording YouTube videos, and many times the camera stopped recording while I was recording, obviously, and that really frustrated me, and that frustration has really built inside me, and that's the reason why I attracted to lose my phone. So let's get right into the story. So we were in Pasul Vulcan at a cottage, and it was a day where we had to leave and go back to Timișoara. Also, my mother was with us at that time. It was at the beginning of February, and outside it was still cold and snowy, and it was the perfect time to slide down with the sledges. To give you a little bit of background, so we were up in the mountains, and usually in the winter we park the car 3 kilometers away from the cottage, and we don't drive on the Serpentine road because the road is closed and it's dangerous to drive on a icy road. And usually we park the car on the parking lot that it's near the gondola station. In the winter we have the possibility also to go up with the gondola, but at that time it was 5 p.m. and the gondola station was closed, but it really doesn't matter because we really wanted to go down on the Serpentine road to slide our way back to the car with the sledges. Yeah, that was the plan for that day. Before we started to slide down, us being into the sledges and Sylvia being in the cottage porch, told us to be careful and to zip our pockets to not lose our phones or our belongings. Yeah, that was a great advice. Great success for me. We started to slide down with the sledges, and outside at 5 p.m. or 5:30 p.m. it was so beautiful. The sky was colorful, and of course my little horse. I started to record with my phone all that beautifulness that was surrounding me. And of course, while I was recording, the camera stopped recording because of full memory storage, and my frustrations came back again. I put my phone back into my pocket and I started again to slide down. And at one point Octavian started to film me and my mother, but mostly me, while I was sliding down on the road. And we were on the road that is near the cabins, so we were at the starting point of the road. And that was the moment when I lost my phone. End of the story. Really not. But to give you a spoiler, I forgot to zip my pocket. So I started to slide down with my pocket unzipped. Also, I put my phone into the pocket at the chest level. I forgot to tell you that. Halfway of the road, we stopped sliding down because one car or two cars, I don't really remember, were trying to go up, and yeah, it's really dangerous and we had to stop. After the car passed, we started to slide down again, and we arrived at one point where the road was flattening, and of course it didn't have speed as before, and at that point it came into my mind to check and to put my hand on the pocket to verify if the phone is there. And as I touched my pocket, the phone was not into the pocket, and the pocket was unzipped, and I started to panic, and my mother was near me, and panicking I left my gloves and my sledge near my mother, and I started to go uphill to look for my phone, and that was a bad thing to do, and don't do that because it's really dangerous to be alone into the woods. Don't do that. Don't do that. And while I was panicking and searching for my phone, I started to freak out because outside it started to become darker and darker, and at one point I started to shout out for my boyfriend Octavian and for my mother, but they didn't hear me, and luckily Octavian caught up with me, and we started to go uphill together to look for my phone. In the meantime, Octavian called his parents to tell them to look for my phone near the cabins where we started to slide down, and also I called my mother to tell her to go down and to wait for us at the car. While we were going uphill, we had with us only Octavian's phone and our sledges that were making a lot of noise into the snow, and bear in mind that because it's a really important thing into this story. After a while we managed to get back to the point where we started to slide down on the road near the cabins, and there we met Octavian's parents. We didn't find anything, they didn't find anything, and it was so frustrating and also so scary because outside it was becoming darker and darker. Octavian's parents gave to us a flashlight that you can put on the head, and we said again our goodbyes to them, and we started to go downhill to search for my phone. And our plan was to take each portion of the road and to cover it, and I was on the left side of the road with the flashlight of Octavian's phone looking for my phone, and Octavian was on the right side of the road with the flashlight that his parents gave to us. After a while of walking, we didn't find anything, and also outside was pitch black, and I think it was almost 9 p.m. and also our sledges, like I said before, were making a lot of noise into the snow, and we couldn't hear anything but that. And at one point of the road we saw a black shadow in the middle of the road, and we started to freak out because we thought that black thing was the bear. And I started to lift the flashlight of Octavian's phone and to point to that black thing, and it was my mother. She scared the shit out of us, but she said that she was calling us, but as I said, we couldn't hear anything. Luckily was my mother. She is stubborn like her daughter, and she decided to not go to the car and to go uphill to look for us. Like an irony of fate, when we arrived at the point of the road when I realized that I don't have my phone in the pocket, the Octavian's phone turned off because of low battery. We were so tired, and we had 1 hour and a half of walking to get to the car, and we couldn't afford to slide down with the sledges because, like I said, outside was pitch black and it was dangerous, and the only source of light was Octavian's flashlight. Octavian had the idea to make a train with our sledges, and he being the one that had the only source of light, and he being the most courageous one between us, he decided to stay in the front, me in the middle, and my mother in the back. So each one of us was holding the rope behind them, and we started to slide down like that. And yeah, it was so scary for me and my mother mostly, because at many points of the road we started to get more speed because the road was abrupt at that point. But we arrived safely at the car, and immediately I got into the car and I took my laptop out and I applied for lost mode of my iPhone on iCloud and also erase mode, but Apple didn't erase all my data and credit cards because they need 10 days to verify if it's really you that is making that request. After I've done that, it came into my mind that in my first YouTube video I recorded with my phone in front of a gym mirror, and into the mirror you can see clearly my phone case and also my phone. And I told Octavian to take a picture of that frame, and Octavian posted that on Pasul Vulcan group with the message if someone will find this phone to contact him. We started to drive to go to Timișoara, and we arrived so late, I think at 2 a.m. and of course we were so tired, so we were here in our home, and for a few days we didn't hear anything from anyone about my phone. But back in my mind I did not lose hope, and I had the hope that someone will contact us and will tell us that he did found the phone. And sure enough, a guy found the phone and contacted Octavian. I was so happy to hear that. And of course Octavian redirected the guy to his parents, and this guy met Octavian's parents and he gave to them my phone, and Octavian's parents emailed to us my phone. Good to have you back, phone. My phone came back to me intact with no damage, and I'm so grateful because I have my phone back. I know that it's an old version, but I don't care. I'm not really that kind of gal that buys the new iPhone that appears every year in the market. What I learned from this experience is to appreciate what you have in this moment, that it's named present, because otherwise in one way or another it will be taken away from you by the universe. And I really think that it's a real thing, the law of attraction and the power of your thoughts. I think the power of your thoughts really adds repercussion in what will happen in the future. So be careful what you are thinking, think positive, and if not, try to think positive.
Asta.
Cred că cu prune. Cu prune.
Cum ajung? Cred cum ajung?
Da, nu din ăla, cred că cu zahăr.
Nu.
Trebuie să fie aici.
Uite, un borcan.
Nu se paper tot așa?
Dar mai nu?
Da, e
Ia cu limba.
Hai mă iubire, trebuie să am dinții intacte aici pentru... What is with that belly, baby? Where are your abs? I'm kidding. Octavian always has shredded abs.
I'm still chewing, woman.
Even when he
Yes,
eats full with food. Look. I'm jealous, but I will get there, I promise. I will get there.
Ah, I'm still chewing, woman.
See? I also have shredded abs. When I get up from the chair, you can see a line.
When I eat a lot, you can see a line too.
Body positivity. See you in another video, and now I will disappear.